The red light is back on in the booth, and the Monster Energy Cup cars get ready to boogie for it all here in the Simulation Stock Car Association. Wandering through the Kentucky bluegrass that adorns this great state, we get set for 200 miles of simulated NASCAR excitement that'll be streaming your way. This is Sparta. Hello, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast as we count down the green for the AdPro 360 Cup Series tonight from Kentucky Speedway. Way up in the press box to bring you all the action, yours truly, Sean Ambrose, joined by Tanner Sharp. In the director's chair over there is the hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak. Armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over these next streamy, award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines and all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the simulated NASCAR Cup racing that will immediately follow. Last week, Andrew Farnyar's continued his dominance with a fourth win for the season, and it all seems it comes in twos for Andrew. But tonight, he looks to make it 3 in a row on another 1.5-mile oval. Alan Elwood here looking to try and rebound this week and continue his quest for a win this season. But Tanner, before we talk about the track, let me tell our viewers that this race is brought to you thanks to Paradigm Technology. Paradigm leverages creative and development talent throughout the country in order to achieve the greatest level of success for their clients. Led by CEO and founder Donnie Hyatt, along with a team positioned around the globe in places like Florida, Georgia, New York, Colorado, Washington, Utah, Virginia, Louisiana, Indiana, France, and more, and yes, and more, Paradigm brings the most up-to-date, on-demand access and attention to their clients' needs, allowing them to achieve the most innovative, up-to-date success with all their projects. Find out more about them at pdc.technology or Paradigm Development, all one word, paradigmdevelopment.net. Now, Tanner, much like last week, this track's still a little new to NASCAR. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Kentucky Speedway?
Yeah, it's relatively new across the board of NASCAR. Kentucky Speedway is a 1.5-mile tri-oval speedway located in Sparta, Kentucky. It is the largest excavation project in Kentucky history, displacing 7.2 million cubic yards of earth. The facility was constructed with 48,000 cubic yards of concrete, the equivalent of a 50-story building. August 9th, 2010, Chairman and CEO Bruton Smith announced Kentucky Speedway's inaugural NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series 400-mile event that was scheduled for July 9th, 2011 as part of a NASCAR triple-header weekend. The trucks have been coming here since its opening back in 2000, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series has been coming here since 2001. Banking degrees as 14 degrees of banking turns 1 and 2, and, of course, in 3 and 4. The tri-oval is 8 to 10 degrees of banking, and folks, this is the old version of Kentucky, not the newly repaid that iRacing does not have currently. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC Monster Energy Cup Car to take a lap around Kentucky.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around Kentucky Motor Speedway in the GSRC Chevrolet SS. Kentucky is an old, worn-out, bumpy track that is sure to leave these drivers worn out at the end of the race. So, without further ado, let's just show you just how bumpy this place is. You can see, just going down the front stretch, it kind of feels like you're in a cement mixer of some variety. But, into turns 1 and 2, you want to ride this middle seam right here. If you go too low down there towards the yellow line, the car will step out on you in a heartbeat and not even think twice about it to regret it. Turn 3, use the started safer barrier as your braking point. Same situation here in 3 and 4. Run that middle groove, don't run all the way to the bottom, swinging it nice and high and wide off of the corner, back down the very bumpy front straightaway that it leaves your arms worn out from fighting with it. As the race progresses, you may see guys venture up here into this groove because it lets you get a good hole shot down the back stretch. But if you get in it too quick, just like me right there, you get a little close to the fence coming off the corner, so it's something worth watching. Turns 3 and 4, not a whole lot of upper groove. You might see guys straddle that second seam up there, but for the most part, bottom, God, you can just watch this car get loose. Back down the very bumpy front stretch, And that will complete your guide around the Kentucky Motor Speedway. With its old worn-out surface, it's actually getting replaced in real life, but not in the iRacing world. So, sure to leave these drivers worn out after fighting with these machines, especially with a newer, lower downforce package in these vehicles. So, this has been your guide around Kentucky Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek.
Brian Yazek getting us a fast one here at Kentucky Speedway in the number 55 GSRC Chevrolet. And let's go to qualifying here real quick. Gary Sexton sitting on the pole right now. Alan Elwood on screen. I mentioned him in the opening of the race. A little misfortune last week. Tough finish for him, Tanner. Looking to rebound. He needs a win here to get in this thing. One of the drivers here in the top of the point standings, which we'll get to in a moment, that's without a win. And, boy, I'll tell you what, let's see what kind of lap he can throw down here. He's coming around now, going to bring it across the line, using the flat of the track there, down on the apron. He's going to go all the way to the pole with a 30.165. That's a full tenth of a second quicker than Gary Sexton was. Elwood putting down the big lap there when he needed it.
Yeah,
it's his time. Just fell to David Washington is on the track. Sorry about that, Tanner.
I was just about to say, and actually I could probably throw in both drivers, David Washington. Oh, and Andrew Farnyards goes to second. So, I mean, you can add David Washington, Andrew Farnyards, and Alan Elwood. They both had their laps, perfect. They hit them perfect right on the dot, and that's what got them into low 30.1 tonight.
So Andrew tonight rolling with the Jeff Gordon sponsor on the Dale Earnhardt paint job car. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. paint job car. That's an interesting look. I got to say, I kind of like that.
Was Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s sponsor as part of his last season in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Oh, that's okay. I should watch more. That's my fault.
That's okay. It was Jeff Gordon though, because Exalta used to be DuPont, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, and Justin Bolton on camera there. He raced for the first time in the Challenger Series last night, and we found out some interesting little tidbits there about Mr. Bolton being a former Peak Series driver, now with us here tonight. And, well, right now his couple laps only resulted in a fourth-place qualifying effort for him, and you know what? That's going to have to be good enough as qualifying starting to wind down here. Why don't we go ahead and look at the point standings real quick and get that going here, kind of get everybody an idea where things are at here. We'll award our poll winner here in just a little bit. The points as they stand, let's face it, folks, Andrew Farnyards is flat crushing it right now. And 4 drivers with wins are in the playoffs, and you're looking at them there. Farnyards, Jones, Washington, Ryan Hill. I keep talking about Alan Elwood. I just got a feeling this could be a night for him here. He's second in points, but no win. David Washington and Ryan Hill have wins, and were listed as winners, but they've been inactive a bit, and they're no longer in that. Now, Ryan Hill's tonight, so I'll talk with the league organizers to see if we can get just kind of a little bit of clarification on what happened there. Now, it has opened up 2 playoff spots for Jesse Abraham and William Moore. You see down there, both needing wins and playoff points. But William Locklear is sitting outside the bubble right now. Tanner, why don't you go through the race details with us real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. The race details of tonight. This is round 12 of 17 of the regular season races. There are 7 playoff races after the first 17. The setups tonight, fixed setups. Every single car here tonight that you will see is driving the same setup with an 80% fuel load. So it's not 100% the full length of a NASCAR run, but it's pretty close. Tire alignment tonight, each team receives 5 sets of tires. They start with 4 sets on the car. So 5 sets only here tonight. That might play into strategy. If you cause an incident twice tonight, you get disqualified. And yes, if there is a green-white checkered in this series, if the race finishes under yellow, the top 10 drivers will have 1 attempt for a green-white checkered, going green after the pace car pulls from the victory lap.
All right, now we've still got about 5.5 laps left, or 5.5 minutes left in practice. Trying to find drivers who haven't taken time yet. Dylan Jones, Chris Scala, who's on the, do we have somebody on the? Oh, we had a driver who was thinking to go out, but didn't do it. So right now it's Jones, Scala, Stephen Llewellyn, Brandon Stokes, Ryan Hill, and Jeff Martin. And there's the 14 rolling now. Brandon Stokes going to... All right, here we go. So we think Stokes is going out for a run-in? No, he suckered us. That's okay. Now, I know Scala was out first. I'm not quite sure what happened there in his qualifying effort. He might have had trouble with the car. All right, so 4.5 minutes ago, Tanner, track conditions this evening. Let's go ahead and look at the weather here real quick, okay? It's clear out this evening. It's only about 75, 76 degrees on track or outside. It's also the same temperature on track. I talked to a few drivers before the race, and I said, boy, it must be just lots of grip out there. And it was said quite bluntly to me, there is more grip over at the horse track than there is here at the racetrack. And that would be Kentucky, the Churchill Downs, home of the Kentucky Derby. But it's awful slick out of here tonight. Don't be fooled by the low temperature. These drivers are going to have trouble managing that. You talked about the tires and strategy. You know, we certainly saw that come into play in the Challenger Series at Chicagoland Speedway under different conditions last night. But I think what we've learned is this tire model is really getting closer to resembling the real world. And listen, you've got tires that are 10 or 12 laps on them, and you're going to try and compete with guys that just took fresh stickers. Is probably a situation you don't want to be in, and you're going to try and avoid that at all costs because fresh tires are king, and especially on these mile-and-a-half tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to stay out and everybody else comes in and you're on 10-lap-old tires, I will guarantee you're going to drop like a pigeon. You'll be in the back of the pack, and it's not going to be a very wise strategy. The only time that will work out is if you come out front and you lose a couple of positions and there's a caution right away, and then there's your track position. But again, these drivers are going to come down for tires each and every single time. This surface of Kentucky goes by the old surface, and we all know how the old surface was. It was bumpy. It wears out tires. That's what you're going to see here tonight. So at times, see a little bit of a strategy as well. The grip is great. The 76 degrees is great, but it's only great for about a lap or two, and then the tires start to fall off a little bit, so you really can't just always drive it hard.
All right, now let's go ahead and award our pole award with a little over 2 minutes to go. I think we're pretty good here on qualifying efforts this evening. And the Sim Speed Shop pole award this week is going to go to Tanner?
David Washington.
That's right, David Washington. And David, for his effort, he gets nothing immediately, but with 2 poles, he will grab himself a little bit of booty, as the Pirates say. For every 2 poles, the driver earns $5, and the driver with the most poles at the end of the season earns $20, courtesy of SimSpeedShop.com, a great place to order custom button boxes as well as buy and sell used equipment. For more information, go to SimSpeedShop.com, Tanner.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good for the poll here tonight because that just means it's track position. Now, here's the kicker for David Washington. He doesn't want any kind of internet connection failures here tonight because now we're getting closer to the playoffs. It plagued him a week ago at Chicagoland Speedway on the last lap of a stage, and those could have been valuable points for David Washington. So hopefully he has those bugs cleared out, and hopefully he's able to keep it up towards the front here tonight.
All right. Well, listen, we've got a great field here, and you know what? Why don't we go ahead and go through the starting order now, and then we can talk about the points here in a second. Let's go ahead and go with tonight's grid for the Paradigm 200 from Kentucky Speedway. It's going to be David Washington on the front row, Andrew Farnyar's on his flank there, Tanner.
Yes, sir, and Alan Elwood's going to start in third. What a great top 3 here tonight, and 4th place starting spot, Justin Bolton.
Row 3, Gary Sexton, the boss, and Ethan Moore starts 6th.
Gerald Campbell is going to start in 7th here tonight, and in 8th place, Eric Stanford.
All right, row 5 going to be rounded out by Richard Reagan Jr. and Ken Richardson.
In row 6, you got Kyle Kammer and Mark Clewell.
Row 7, Josh Bonwell, Judd Danielson, 14th tonight.
In the 8th row, Robert McFarlane and William Locklear.
Okay, row 9 going to be Jesse Abraham. Did not take the qualifying time. And that's going to be Jesse and Jeff Martin, who also does not have a time. I'm sorry, Jesse did get a time. Jeff Martin, though, will start there in the outside of row 9.
In row 10, Brandon Stokes and Ryan Hill.
All right, and that is your field. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. I didn't see that. Stephen Llewellyn, Chris Scala, and Dylan Jones running out of the field. Those also, of course, drivers that didn't take qualifying time. You know what? Let's look at the point system real quick before we get ready to grid up, as the drivers are going to get ready to do that now. The race winner, of course, gets 43 full points, and decreases by 1 all the way to the back of the field. So you see how that progresses. Now, here's the big thing. Stage winner. Yes, we're stage racing tonight. 3 great stages, 1, 2, and 3. And that is a big deal here because that stage winner gets 10 points. It decreases 1 point each position back. So the top 10, all with a great opportunity to earn points here tonight. And Tanner, cars are gridding up now. Drivers getting in their seats, getting ready to get this race going. We had a pretty quick one last night at a 1.5 mile oval at Chicagoland. Look to probably have another really, really good competitive one here tonight. That's all we've seen from the AdPro Results Cup Series guys this season, and I don't think things will change too much. But if you're picking favorites, if you had a horse that you were going to follow here tonight, who would it be?
We got to go with the favorites, or do you want to exclude some? Because the favorite, obviously, tonight is no doubt Andrew Farnyards. I mean, over 400 laps led on the season. But I'm going to be fair here. I'm going to exclude the fast guys, drivers like Washington, Farnyards, Elwood, and Dylan Jones. So I'm going to go, and he's been very competitive as of late. I'm going to go as a dark horses on this guy, Gary Sexton. He had a great run at Chicagoland a week ago. I think he's got a good starting spot here tonight. If he can keep that track position, he'll finish up towards the front.
Yeah, Gary does seem to have things kind of coming together for him right now, and I think it's a great pick. I think it has tremendous merit. I've been on this Alan Elwood thing since earlier today when I was really analyzing this race, and Alan needs a win. Needs to pick up some more playoff points, but a win would certainly secure him until we get to the end of these initial races here before the playoffs actually start. So I'm gonna stick with it. Gonna stick with Elwood. Now, let's look at the race analysis real quick here tonight and the stages we have ahead for you. 33 laps, stage 1, stage 2. Tonight's race, 132 laps. We'll finish that with 66 laps in that final stage. Folks, we're going to see a pit stop at that final stage, whether it be by caution or by necessity. You're going to need it about 45 to 50 laps on a fuel run here. And, boy, we just haven't seen a whole lot of guys running it all the way to an empty tank. It's generally tires that dictate when you need to stop on these 1.5 mile tracks. So I think tonight we're probably going to see the same. Again, you're starting with that first of 5 sets on the car right now. Look for drivers to continue to strategize here in this first stage as to how they'll use those tires and whether or not they'll take them if we get a caution, let's say, halfway through the run. Washington gets us ready to go here. The pace car is pulled off. We are ready to go. The green flag is out. Washington on the hammer across the line, drops Farnyards as he heads to the bottom of the track. Farnyards will look to maybe slip in, and he does. He's got the room there, but Farnyards just off the bumper. Does not get the run off the turn. Washington able to hold on as they go line and stern behind. Gary Sexton dropping a couple spots. He falls in behind Justin Bolton.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody kind of getting single file right off the bat. Looks like Sexton has now fallen into the clutches of Ethan Moore. If that battle begins, that'll be a battle for 5th place. Right now, it's going to start right now as they start entering turn 1. I thought it would, but here comes the number 19. Or is it, who's that? That number 19? Yeah, Eric Stanford underneath the 6 car of Gerald Campbell. That's a first side-by-side battle off the track as Washington leads the first lap.
And the caution's out. Caution is out. It looks like Scala had trouble in the middle of the turn and might have, he did. He got hit by Brandon Stokes as he was losing it. I think we've got a replay. We can pick this up here real quick. Oh, and maybe it was a little bit of contact, actually, between him and Brandon Stokes. Scala maybe, I don't know. We'll look here, Tanner. Boy, it was awful slight contact, just wrong place at the wrong time. Scala really takes the brunt of that, as that car is beat up awfully bad. 2 laps into the race. That is a really, really tough break. Both drivers. On board with Stokes here, Tanner.
Yeah, on board with Stokes here, as I think he got a little help from behind as well from Llewellyn. So realistically, 3 cars are involved in this incident. Wow, that was a hard lick for the Chris Scala.
Yeah, it was. Wait a minute, we've got trouble on the backstretch. Something's going on here, and trying to figure it out. Oh no, boy, Judd Danielson's car with trouble. I think that's actually, I think this might have been, it was the 17 you see coming up through right there. I've seen that before, and that is, I believe that's some sort of a glitch. I've only seen it on a road course before. Seems like we had it happen here on a GSRC broadcast a couple months ago.
17 of Danielson. Let's get another look at this.
Yeah, he's maybe he's had some kind of problem, hardware problem. That's probably a connection problem. I'm guessing maybe everybody disappeared on him or something of that nature. I'm sure somebody will give us a heads up when we get it. We'll let you know. So we're going to get to reshuffle the field here pretty quickly. And for those of our viewers who are just noticing it, I'm just noticing it. We have the roof pace car on track here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. The guys in race control mixing it up a little bit for us tonight, Tanner.
Yep, I've always liked that option to where the race control can actually change the pace car, and hopefully we get more selections in the future, because I think that is a very brilliant feature. Usually you're used to seeing this on the road side of racing, no matter what road course you go to, but pretty cool to see it on track here tonight at Kentucky. I actually did think about this.
It's Kentucky, so the roof has more horses, right? As our director... As the director pointed out, I'm going to take me a while to recover from that one.
I thought that was awesome.
All right, so I can't confirm that Judd Danielson has disconnected, not by his choosing. So something obviously was going on it, and we hate that for him here early. Judd, I had talked to Judd last night after the Challenger race, and he was really looking forward to tonight. Had a lot to offer to this race, and he has it cut short early. And kind of bad luck for those guys just behind him. Hopefully they didn't suffer much damage on the cars, but David Washington gets ready to take him around here and get this race restarted. As the lights are out on the pace car, it's going to be Washington, Farnyards, Elwood, and Bolton that will get this started in the top 4. Gary Sexton and Ethan Moore on that 3rd row, all of them holding position here in the start of this race. And we only got a couple laps in. This may be the official start of the race. Here is really, I look for them to get running once we get started. Now, we did have some drivers take a pit, and that was Abraham, Clewell, Llewellyn, and Scala. Scala is back out on track. Going to try and keep it out here and nurse it along.
Pace car's in, and David Washington on the low pedal right away, trying to escape the clutches from Andrew Farnyards. You know he's the fastest guy of the season, but the first side-by-side battle as they enter turn 1 is going to be Gary Sexton and Justin Bolton down into turn 1. That would be a battle for 4th.
Side-by-side, Sexton in the dirty air machine, and he is hooked up with Bolton right now. The front pack, though, getting away. David Washington off to another great start. Farnyards got all over his bumper, though, on that restart. Elwood stuck in the middle here. Elwood just flashed on me there, too, so we'll have to keep an eye on his connection. Hopefully everything works out.
Yeah, he's been flashing in and out here and there, but it's not major. Man, Gerald Cameron just washed up the hill just a little bit. Kind of backed up Kyle Cameron. Gerald Campbell back in 8th place right now. Almost clipped the left rear quarter panel of Eric Stanford entering turn 1.
It's a good job by Cameron actually getting out of trouble there, because that was surely going to be it. Reagan able to get around because Cameron makes that bit of a sacrifice to avoid the wreck there, and it's a good job. Everybody now gone line to stern, nose to tail here in this race. And oh, who's that? Someone coming out of the pits?
Yeah, that was Chuck Danielson.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back.
Actually, I thought that was a car off when I first saw it. Washington here in command early. Really likes this track. It looks like he has the line early that he enjoys, and making it awful tough for Farnyards to do anything with him here early. Farnyards, they've got to watch out. Boy, Alan Elwood almost took the bumper off of that car. Elwood having to get out of the throttle there.
Yeah, having a little bit of blinking issue, but here comes Bolton. You know, the more the 42 and the 88 of Elwood and Farnyards battle, the more Bolton's going to catch these guys and maybe possibly take them 3 wide. We'll have to see. But Bolton's actually having a very strong run in the early parts of this race tonight.
Yeah, you know, we saw Bolton do this last night, though, and it was an attempt to save tires, to be really honest with you. When it got deeper into the run, he really took the guys down. So I don't know if there's much comfort there. Those 3 ahead looking back saying, well, he's not going to pass us yet. Well, there's a reason. He's waiting. He's biding his time. I think much like the 3 cars in front of him. Let's go back to Gary Sexton, though. Sexton now starting to kind of break away a little bit from Ethan Moore, maybe trying to catch these guys just a bit.
Just a little bit. He's got a little bit of clean air to work with. All he has to do is follow the guys' foot tracks that are right ahead of him. Not feeling any pressure from behind, not to really pushing any pressure on anybody. He's just the Lone Ranger out there at the moment, just trying to run his race. Currently running solidly in the top 5.
Further back in the pack, some runs going here. Ken Richardson right now being overtaken by William Locklear, at least trying to. Locklear took a look on the inside and then backed out of it. Just behind him, Dylan Jones coming through.
Huge
Jones run. On a run.
Yeah, Dylan Jones. Oh, go ahead.
No, you please go.
Oh yeah, Dylan Jones. Yeah, he's having a good run, a good start to the race. Started 16th or 18th tonight, already up to 12. Trying to get one guy at a time, and usually in the opening stage of the race, when everybody's on the same set of tires, it is just so hard to pass here at Kentucky, because usually it turns into a one-groove racetrack for a while, and sometimes as you get later in the run, you'll see more drivers opening up a group. But here goes Dylan Jones again for 11th spot on track. So Jones, we knew how fast he was last week in Chicagoland.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Jones move forward. And nothing different tonight as he does it again, gets another spot. Jones now up to 11th, and he'll be looking to go ahead of Kyle Kammerer. Still a little ways up the track from about a second, not a minute and a half, but about a second and a half.
Tell you what, up towards the front, Justin Bolton is really pushing the pressure on Alan Elwood right now. Has yet to get side by side with them, but he's really getting closer and closer to that back bumper. You can fold really the top 4. Oh, a little bit of a mishap for Elwood. And this is what Bolton's going to do to try to take advantage of this. Take advantage of another driver's mistake.
Well, I will steal it from the peanut gallery from our old buddy Soup there. Justin Lightning Bolton is on his way here. He's battling hard for that 3rd spot. Elwood all the way
really close. Yeah, really close to the outside wall. Maybe he just scraped it just a kiss, possibly, but still hanging on. Very tough battle for 3rd spot on hand. Bolton on the bottom, Elwood on the higher line. It just looks like Bolton has the preferred line in the middle of the corner. Elwood's got the run on the back straightaway. Doesn't really do anything with it. Maybe a little bit of a bumper tap. He'll get him later, probably.
All right, let's go back to 12th place because the battle is on here. Richardson, Locklear going at it, and then Locklear's already got the position there. Locklear goes ahead of Richardson. Seems like Richardson maybe starting to hit a little bit of a wall with that set. He's starting to kind of drop a little bit. Locklear's picked up 4 spots himself. He's starting to move forward here.
William Locklear, yeah, he actually is. He started 16th tonight, so far up to 12 in the early point stage of the race so far. Got by Ken Richardson. Another driver I'm trying to keep an eye on that's actually trying to gun down Gary Sexton was Ethan Moore, but the problem is for Ethan Moore, he's got Stanford and Campbell trying to gain on him, while Campbell's trying to go after Eric Stanford. Nothing really producing yet as far as side-by-side racing, but some drivers trying to take a look to see what they can do.
Well, boy, easy for me to say. We have approached the halfway point of this stage, and I would think some drivers are going to start to make a move. Maybe one is Gerald Campbell back here all over the back door. Eric Stanford looking on the inside. They're going to go too wide through the turn. Campbell looking pretty racy in the VFW Ford. Got that Fusion right where he wants, down on the bottom. He's going to take it all the way into the turn. Got to keep it down there. Don't let that car roll up the hill on you.
He is right now. He just pushed up.
Boy.
He might have to let it go. Maybe not. He did pushed up a little bit, but the problem is when you push up like that, you're giving the momentum to the outside row, which in this case, it's Eric Stanford. But he gets a nice entrance on. He dives it in just a little too hard on entrance, and that forces the car to wash up the hill, which is giving the momentum to Eric Stanford on corner exit.
Campbell does a good job of hanging onto the car right there. It got a little wicked, a little loose off the turn. That's what we call side-by-side racing. They were joined at the hip. Stanford wins the battle early here, though. Long way to go in this race. Trying to pick up a couple more battles on track. You know, we hadn't really talked about what's going on near the very back of the packet. It's Jesse Abraham right now, kind of the Pied Piper back here, leading Mark Clewell, Josh Bonwell, Robert McFarland, Stephen Llewellyn, all still very much in this race. Actually, McFarland ends out that little train of 4 cars right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse Abraham actually. Oh, we got a car going towards the grass area.
That's Clewell.
No caution. Did not spin it out. Just went through the grass. Seen some grass effects on there. I seen it.
We'll get to see it again here on the GSRC replay. Out there cutting the bluegrass, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm gonna love this right here. I'm so glad this was in the last update. It was actually an unexpected update. Watch this.
Well, not so much from the roof cam there.
Thing is, these cars, man, when they go in the grass area, it plows like a snow plow, man. It picks up that grass.
Campbell back to fighting with Stanford. That battle is back on again. And actually just ahead of them, Ethan Moore just took over Gary Sexton. Oh, boy. Campbell almost loses the car. The front end got really tight on him. A little bit of movement out of the rear end of the car. He saves it.
Nothing is happening up towards the front area. With the only exception I'm seeing is Farnyards is catching Washington, and Bolton was catching Farnyards, but they're not side by side yet. But yeah, I'll tell you what, Campbell, he had a big moment off of turn number 4. The thing is, usually in a cool racetrack like this, and oh man, some of these guys are really pushing up the track on corner exit. As the tires wear on a cool racetrack, usually it means it's tight. I don't know if these guys are loose, but it certainly looks like it's tight on exit.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, is that tight condition, to be honest with you.
Hey, Dylan Jones has cracked now the top 10.
Watching Chris Scala here trying to get a spot here on Llewellyn, and he gets it. Scala trying to recover from early trouble.
He's not running bad lap times at all, despite that early trouble and that heavy lick to the inside wall. And Sexton and Ethan Moore going at it once again. Ethan Moore, Moore passed Sexton earlier. Now Sexton got him back using the outside row. Sexton does get him. Ethan Moore might come back on this, but all that battling is now bringing Stanford and Campbell into the mix.
Do you sense that the end of the stage is ahead of us in about 7 laps here? I certainly do. Things are heating up here on track. Gary trying to hang on to that 5th place spot. Ethan Moore digging. Bring it along, Eric Stanford with him.
These drivers right here that are battling for about 5th spot, the stage point might be out of reach, but these guys are battling so hard because the further you get up at the end of the stage, the more the bonus points you get. That's why it's so critical in every position at the end of a stage. Sexton's got to really hold off Moore, Stanford, Campbell. You can really fold them over a blanket. Well, here comes Stanford on the bottom, looking towards the inside, trying to get the run off of turn number 2. Ain't going to work. Looks like Ethan Moore had the better run on corner exit. Dives into turn number 3. Let's see what Stanford can do. Can he make that car stick without washing up the track? Ooh, Moore's actually going up the hill, almost hitting to the outside wall. Stanford still able to hang on.
That's really, really great battle that we've been following for most of the stage now, at least since they came out of that first early caution flag. These two have been relentless. Let's look at the leaders real quick here, because Andrew Farnyar is under threat from Justin Bolton. Bolton's got the inside of that left rear. A little bit of a wiggle there out of Farnyar's. Bolton second at the line. They'll give it to him.
Farnyar's up there. Pass.
Yeah, Farnyar's up there, was able to break a little bit later, but maybe lost a little bit of momentum. Bolton's still trying to clear him. Still trying to go get David Washington, who sees his hopes of the stage win coming into play here.
Always washing up the hill right here. This will be a dangerous spot. Oh, man, fishtailing. It goes Andrew Farnyar just a little bit loose, because that took the air off the front end nose of the 88 when the 7 pulled right in front of him. Got him really loose on corner exit. That will throw Justin Bolton into second place.
Well, Bolton had been working on that for a while, but as I suspected, as we get deeper into this run, he would make that charge late, and so far it's worked out for him. Farnyar does not look to have anything left here. We'll come across the line with 3 laps left to the end of the stage. Washington, Bolton, and Farnyar, your top 3. Alan Elwood still sitting there in the rocket chair in 4th.
Very great battle from 6th on back. Ethan Moore, Eric Stanford, Dylan Jones, and Gerald Campbell. All 4 of these drivers have really been all over each other the last lap or 2. Stanford still trying to utilize the bottom lane as best to his ability, trying to get after Ethan Moore. It just has not played out in his favor just yet. All this battle between these 2 drivers has brought Dylan Jones and Campbell into the mix with 2 laps to go of stage number 1.
Really, really good. Intense battle. 1 lap to go here. Or about a lap and a half. I don't think anybody can catch David Washington here. I don't know. Bolton's really digging now.
I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I would not.
Too soon. No contact. He makes just a little bit of tap there with Washington. Bolton gets a small piece of it, Tanner. Going to come across the line. White flag is out for the end of the stage. The ceremonial white flag.
Oh, yeah. Here comes Bolton, man. He's just trying to get that car right to get that nice run down the back straightaway. If he doesn't get the right run down the back straightaway, I don't think he's going to get him. Nope, he does not, because I don't think he's going to get him. Down in turn 3, this is his money corner right here. Yep. Gains a little bit, but it's not enough.
Washington going to roll out of 4, cross the front stretch here, and he is going to be your stage 1 winner here tonight in the Paradigm Technologies 200 from Kentucky Speedway. Bolton going to take 2nd, Farnyar's in 3rd, Elwood 4th, and Gary Sexton holds on to that 5th place spot that he dropped into here out of qualifying, and he will finish there. The big mover, Dylan Jones, we stopped talking about him there for a bit, and in the meantime, he got all the way up to 610.
Yeah, he certainly did. What a great run for Dylan Jones. They get them bonus points. As I said, he's currently in 6th right now. But I have to tip my hat to David Washington. You got to remember last week, he had an internet connection failure on the last lap of a stage. Coulda, woulda, shoulda got some great bonus points. But tonight, he makes up for that with 10 bonus points along with the stage point.
All right, everybody's starting to catch up to the pace car here. Everybody will get slowed down for what we expect to see is a major exodus from the track and on over to the pit lane, where that's where the battle will get intense.
It's certainly going to get intense indeed for a number of reasons. Why? Because it's 50 miles an hour down pit road, and secondly, you don't want to overshoot your pit box. I have seen a lot of that here at the Kentucky Speedway in my recent years driving here. I'm certainly a victim. Here we go. Pit road is open. There's the marker that you have to go 50 miles an hour. Don't speed and don't overshoot your pit box. So in other words, do not beat yourself.
Yeah, do not make a mistake here. Especially when you have everybody coming in, it just magnifies that. Don't be that guy that makes a mistake. So far, so good. I don't see any trouble for our leaders getting in. Washington already get those right sides replaced. Left side's up. And the left side's down and he's away.
Oh, no look at Dylan Jones.
Oh.
What a whale of a pit stop. It was still at 4 tires, but he may have got popped for speeding.
That might be trouble. Yep.
Oh, he might get another black flag because he is past the yellow line. I can't confirm that right away, but you get them right side tires over that yellow line because you have to stay on the apron of the racetrack until that complete exit of turn 2. There is a blue line back there.
Boy, that could be trouble for him. It's certainly going to make making any movement in the second stage really, really difficult.
Wow, an average pit stop in the top 10s of 15 seconds. Dylan Jones had a tremendous pit stop of a 13.9.
Let's look at the playoff points here real quick. Let's talk about how this system works for everybody here, so you have a better idea of what we're looking at here on the points graphic when we talk about it next week and going through right here to the end of the regular season before we start the playoffs. Now, the field size for the playoff system is 12 drivers. Now, how do you get in? Well, you win a race. Win a race, that gets a driver into the playoffs if he or she is inside the top 30 in the regular season points. Pretty easy to do. The fields haven't been quite 30 drivers, so the win is key. Now, the rest of the 12-car field is based on regular season points. Now, you can carry over playoff points. The regular season champ is awarded 15 playoff points. Those go over into the playoff pool. You get 5 playoff points for winning a race, and you get 1 playoff point for winning a stage. All right, now those points all added up at the end of the season. Very, very big deal. And, I don't want to jump too far ahead of the playoffs, but this playoff system is going to produce some really exciting driving, and 12 drivers going to have a chance to get in that and fight for this championship.
Man, those points you just explained there, Sean, are absolutely huge. I mean, the best explanation I can really put it is look at Martin Truex Jr. in NASCAR when he won the championship. Stage points, you got to win the race. You get 5 stage points for winning the race itself, 1 stage point for winning the stage. I mean, that's a ton of stage points for the playoffs. And on top of that, if you win the regular season championship, 15 points. It's telling you need to be consistent and out there winning races.
All right, stage 2 about ready to get restarted or to get started. The roof pace car, its lights, the safety lights on that car are out. And it's time to get back to some racing here. We'll start lap 39. When we get to the line, it's going to be David Washington, Andrew Farnyards back on the front row together to get this race restarted. Look for Washington to get out quick. It's kind of his MO. Clean air is king here at Kentucky Speedway. Not a lot of wind tonight, so good, clean track to race with.
Yeah, if Washington can get the good restarts he has been getting here tonight, he should be able to stay out front and utilize that clean air. So we'll have to see on this restart. It's going to be very, very interesting.
All right, the roof coming around. Getting ready to peel off this track. Into the pits, he makes his dive. Washington holds him up just a little bit. Wait on the green flag. Now he's gone. The green flag is out, and we are back under power here at the Paradigm 200 at Kentucky Speedway. David Washington peels out to a good start there. Farnyard's going to slip in behind just like he did at the start of this race. Bolton, Elwood following closely here at the early start of this race. Already a move for position.
Ooh.
Sexton looking to get overtaken back here.
Yeah, that's Richard Regan Jr. Before the pit stops, he was in 10th place. Now he's looking to take 6th away from Sexton, and he does. Great move down the back straightaway. What a run. Oh, Sexton's going to come back now.
Sexton's got a good race car. He's been battling all night here. Second stage battles are starting early.
It most certainly is here, Sean. They're battling pretty good.
Yep, you got Cameron and Ethan Moore right next to each other also. Those two going side by side. Cameron doing a good job of keeping it in the middle of the groove. Gerald Campbell just behind them. Cameron edging more across the line.
Bunch of hungry wolves back here. A pack of wolves.
Yeah, Cameron's still hanging in there down on the bottom.
Yeah, he certainly is. Oh, man.
Him and Gerald Campbell almost get together. Man, that one ended well right there in the center of the turn. Ryan Hill just behind them in the 55 Hillco Chevrolet.
Pretty good battle. Oh, Campbell up the hill now.
Yeah, but still has the momentum. Cameron not able to take advantage of that. Campbell powers on by.
Man, I tell you what, Bolton's all over the back bumper of Farnyards, man. He is fast, and he just doesn't have any run to take it just yet. He wants to look towards the inside. He's waiting for that right time to get past Farnyards, and right behind him, you got Alan Elwood, who's in 4th spot.
Yeah, notice how Elwood hasn't fallen to the rocking chair this time. He's actually up here with the pack running, able to hang on and give these guys a little bit of pressure, especially to Bolton.
Farnyards had a good run going there, trying to catch up to Wash. Oh, we got a caution.
Oh, boy. Clewell. Yeah, Clewell's around. It looks like he had a little bit of contact with the 10 of Ken Richardson. I'm sure we could pick this up here in the replay. There were several cars involved there.
Oh, William Locklear just got clipped in the left rear. Tell you what, Dylan Jones got through that, and he did not have to serve a penalty for that being over the yellow line just a little bit.
Well, there we look at another angle of the replay here.
Even around.
On board with Jones. That should get through this. You see Clewell spinning down there on the bottom. Good job of getting by that. Well, that brings out our second caution flag of the evening. Again, kind of early in the stage, we get a caution flag, a second accident-related caution flag, and we're going to see the drivers who need some repair go in and get him. Clewell, there's the 4, Ken Richardson going in with him, and the 10 also going in. That there, Ken Richardson, William Locklear, all coming in the pit now.
Wow, a lot of drivers thought about coming down pit road, but they all faked out. They're like, nope, the leaders are not going in, so I'm not going in.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was going in. I think they were just messing around.
Playing some mind games.
Yeah, you know what, man? Listen, I want to refer to the last night again. You can gamble and take fresh tires early to try and win a stage. But, boy, I think it's too early. You know what I mean? We just got restarted here. We'd only gotten 5 laps in, maybe 4 or 5 laps in, I think, there after the start. So probably a wise decision by everyone to stay out on the track. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Back in just a moment here from Kentucky Speedway in the Paradigm 200. Welcome back with the AdPro 360 Cup Series here tonight at Kentucky Speedway in the Paradigm 200. We get ready to get restarted here. The lights are out on the roof pace car. Yes, the roof pace car. We're using that this evening here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. And David Washington going to get to restart the race here on point where he's been all night. Andrew Farnyard is going to restart again on the front row with him. Same cast of characters right behind him, Elwood, Bolton. And then it changes up a little bit. You got Richard Regan, Eric Stanford, Ethan Moore, and Gary Sexton back there. Sexton losing a few spots, but look for him to charge forward here as we get ready to get restarted. That roof pace car getting ready to do his thing. That's turn left into the pits. Washington going to hold him up here. Nice and easy, nice and easy. And he's on the hammer. There we go. Washington gets it started. It gets a nice jump on Farnyard again. Bolton actually got a really, really good snap out of the box.
Much better restart for David Washington as I head down in turn number one. Farnyard, Bolton, Elwood, and Regan Jr. around the high line for the fifth spot on Stanford. And I'll tell you what, Regan Jr. He's been ever since after the first stage, man. He's been hustling towards the front here. See what he can do. Looks like the number 7 of Bolton might be pressuring Farnyard's just a little bit because he's all over that back bumper, that Exalta 88. There he goes to the inside.
Yep, dropping down there, heading into one. Oh, contact! Watch out! What a save by Andrew Farnyard. Wow, that was classic. Able to hold on to that car. He's going to lose some spots here. We'll look at it on the replay. Hold on to your seats, folks. You're going to see the contact here between Bolton, Farnyard. Farnyard just drifted it up the turn and able to hold on, get the grip back under him and get back to racing. Farnyard's now back in 6th. A little bit of rubbing. It's a little bit of racing there.
Oh, yeah, but sometimes rubbing is racing and the fists are shaking.
Start working on a list of cliches if you want. Remember, drivers got to have a good memory out here. Boy, Washington got Bolton right behind him. Bolton run up the track just a little bit. But, boy, he seems to have Washington in his sights. Question is he ready to go to the front or is he happy to just sit back here and hang on a little bit? Got to watch that, though, because Alan Elwood has picked up this draft a little bit, and he's starting to move forward here. About to be a 3-car trio.
Oh, no, Bolton's headed towards the front. He means serious business because we did see how fast he was on that long run before this first stage ended. And right now, he is only 10th off of the race leader, David Washington. And I do believe the 7 is a little quicker. Right now, actually taking 2 different lines on entering the corner of the racetrack. Let's see what Bolton can do on corner exit. Can he get the run? They're about pretty even coming off the exit of the corner. Elwood looks like he's trying to catch these 2 cats up towards the front.
Farnyard's back there on the inside. He's trying to complete this pass right now on Stanford. It's been tough. He's had to work on this for about 3 or 4 laps now. He still can't complete it. Stanford with a really, really nice run off that top middle groove. Gary Sexton going to look to drop under Farnyard's. No, Sexton going to hold off. Stay in line.
Oh, Campbell washed up the hill just a little bit. Looks like the number 8 of Cameron had to check up just a little bit.
Bringing Ryan Hill along with him. Cameron again stuck on the outside. You know, I'm almost convinced that Cameron doesn't really mind being up there.
He's been up there all race since the drop of the green, really.
I was going to try and get that spot back from Ryan Hill. Heading into 1. Let's see if he can hold on to it.
Oh, there goes Farnyard's now on Stanford. Farnyard's really dove it into turn number 1, trying to make it really stick.
Yep,
so far, he's making it stick really good right now.
Yeah, and that bright red Ford Fusion, he gets there first to the turn.
Man, I
give
think,
that spot to Farnyard's back up to 5th.
Man, I think he tried to pinch just a little bit to that number 19 when he passed him.
You know, just behind them, it's thick as thieves, man. We've got Richard Regan leading the whole string of cars all the way back to Chris Scala. All of them just within 2 seconds of each other.
Kyle's running some pretty good lap times for a car that has damage on it. Still trying to make up some ground.
It's definitely got some damage on it.
Barnyards after Regan Jr. He thought about down turn number 1, backed off a little bit. It's got a little bit of a run down the back straightaway. I don't think it's strong enough. Actually, I take that back. Regan actually got a better run. There goes Barnyards diving it into the corner of the racetrack.
He wants to get back.
Take it.
Yeah, he wants to get back up to the top 3.
Hey, you think he wants to get back to the top 3? Get back to the 7?
Thinking so. I'm thinking so. I think that's the strategy right now. We've
But
got nine laps to go to the end of the stage.
Well, look at the gap the 88 has between Elwood, and the 88 wants that little bit of clean air so he can relax a little bit and start running down the top 3 drivers.
I'd say now's a good time to go there, Tanner. As I mentioned ago, we had 9 laps. It's going to be 8 laps to go here at the end of the stage. And he's looking at about a 1.5-second gap. Time to get on your horse and go, go, go.
Tell you what, a heck of a comeback for Dylan Jones, though, because he's back in the top 10, now 9th, just ahead of him. He wants to go for 8th on Ethan Moore. Dylan Jones only served 1 penalty, and that was for speeding on the exit of the pits. That was just an EOL starting at the tail end of the longest line. Now he's back in the top 10. A little loose off the exit corner, though. That lost some momentum.
He was charging hard, too, and like you said, that did lose him some momentum, but you know what? He's back on it here.
Oh, we got a battle for the race lead.
Yeah, Bolton really wants to win the stage here.
Oh, he dove it in there pretty good. If he's even making a save, he's washing up the hill. They're going to make door-to-door contact, washing up. The run's going to go to Washington towards the line. Oh, man. It is so tough to pass somebody on the inside as the tires wear, man. It's tough, but almost seeing a collision between leaders. And the top corner position driver will go to Elwood.
They are starting to drop Alan Elwood, and maybe it's just the tires for Elwood. He's going to have to be careful here, though, if he wants to hang on to that 3rd spot, because Andrew Farnyard's starting to make his way. He's creeping. He's a little bit faster every lap. That car is actually picking up speed. It's closing. Only just under a second now. Here, about 8/10.
Oh, yikes. Sexton almost got into the back of Stanford there. Looks like he's going to go towards the inside now. Sexton looked like he had a little bit of a run on Stanford. And 3 wide behind these cats because there's Gerald Campbell back there. Ryan Hill on the bottom, really loose. Loses the momentum. There's Dylan Jones. That was in the middle. Now he's side by side with Campbell. Ooh, and the 19 almost T-boned in the back bumper of the 46 of Regan Jr. Man, these cats are all over each other in the final point of stage 2.
Well, if you're inside that top 10 right now, you want one of those spots. Campbell sitting back there in that 10th spot right now, fighting with Dylan Jones. And that's just up at the front of this pack. Regan really getting a lot of pressure from Stanford heading into the turn. Everybody trying not to run over each other right now. It's with everyone having a little bit different braking point heading into these turns. The time so close. It's proven to be difficult.
Man, look at Ethan Moore trying to utilize the higher line, trying to get the run and corner exit. Almost gets to the back, to the rear quarter panel of the 19. He does want that high line. He believes he's faster on the outside row on the corner exit. That's what he wants to utilize. Looks like he's not able to stick with Stanford, but Sexton gets it in there, almost hitting the left rear quarter panel of Moore. Man, a lot of action going on from practically 5th on back.
2 laps to go.
Oh man, Sexton got into the back bumper of Moore. Didn't affect Moore though.
Hoping not to get a caution here before the end of the stage. And Jones trying to stay off of Campbell. He gets his car up into the wall. Jones, well, that car had been moving forward so well for most of the race. It seemed to kind of stalled out of here just a little bit.
Yeah, he couldn't get he definitely could not get the bottom to work at all, so he decided to change up the line and go around the outside. White flag lap of stage number 2. David Washington comes across the finish line as he heads down to turn number 1. Justin Bolton in second, and Alan Elwood in third. I don't believe Bolton's going to get him, so David Washington, as long as he can hang on, he'll get another stage point.
Boy, the Florida driver really hooked up tonight. Going to try and take this down. Bolton going to fight him down the backstretch. Nothing, not an inch. Now, this is his bread and butter here for Bolton, and he does close it up, but it's not going to be enough. Going to be just like stage 1. Stage 2, going to find David Washington picking up another stage win here. And, boy, that was a hot one there for him. Another really good segment to this race. The final one lies just ahead. Listen, folks, these drivers, 31 laps on this run. Look for everyone to come in and pick up their third set of tires. Now that's going to leave you with 2 left. And I'll tell you what, with 66 laps in that final stage, I think having 2 sets of tires really works to your advantage.
Oh, wow. If it's 2 sets of tires from here on out for every single driver, man, you better stay on out there and use up them tires. Actually use it up till the end of the fuel run, since we are seeing these long green flag stretches here.
Well, we may get into a situation where we see some late cautions in the race. It'll be those who decide to hang on to them that may have the advantage with, let's say, 15 laps to go, and you get a caution and you're sitting on 1 set. That may be the difference between a 17th place finish and maybe a 4th place finish, depending on how the rest of the guys have taken care of them here tonight. So this race very well right now looking like it may come down to a tire war. And here we go. Everybody going to peel off. Come on down to the pits. Come on, boys. We're open. Washington hits the stripe first. Got that number 1 box all the way at the end of pit lane.
Don't beat yourself on pit road now here, boys. So far, we already seen that happen tonight. Let's see. Washington's going to get into his pit box. Let's see if everybody else gets in pit box just fine. Everybody got... Oh, no, Campbell messed it up. He actually undershotted it.
Tough break for Campbell. Campbell having a strange night, to be honest with you. And boy, what a egg!
Regan
Elwood. I'm sorry, I was trying to pick up his name. Alan Elwood with a great battle off the pit road. He's going to go to second, and for I think the first time tonight, Bolton all the way back to 5th with a slow stop.
Yeah, he had 16 seconds on that pit stop compared to his other competitors that were in the top 5, averaging about 14.5 seconds. That's huge.
Yes, it is. 2 stages in the books already. I told you, folks, at the beginning of this one, and it might fly by here in the AdPro 360 Cup Series tonight, Kentucky Speedway. This 14-degree banked 1.5 mile oval track here in Kentucky. Not been here for a great amount of time, but tell you what, in the time it's been here, it's produced some exciting racing as 1.5 mile ovals go. Drivers out here all looking to have a pretty good time tonight. Not many casualties, really. Unfortunately, Clewell has gotten out of his car, and Brandon Stokes had some connection problems. He's out of his car. And Jeff Martin never even got started today. So Judd Danielson in the pits now, picking up more repair on his machine.
Yeah, Kentucky has always produced some pretty good racing throughout the years, especially on this older pavement of the racetrack. Some drivers in real life have referred to this racetrack as it felt like more of a roller coaster due to how the car dips down into the bumps. Because it was a bumpy racetrack. Now, today in real life, it's now a repaved, reconfigured Kentucky Speedway, much smoother. But I actually like the old bumpy. It gives the track character.
Well, I am really excited to see this last stage. We had an exciting one last night in the AdPro Challenger Series. The Challenger Series is the junior series here, of course, to the Cup Series, and they run the Xfinity cars and put on great entertainment. Watch our schedule here on the Global Sim Racing channel, folks. You don't want to miss the Challenger Series. It's just as much fun as the Cup Series. A lot of these Cup drivers come down and run with those guys. The gentlemen driving for points in this race will have the various colored windshield banners. The non-points drivers should be using the white banner on their windshields.
And I tell you what, it may have been a smooth stage 2, but now we're in the final stage of the race. The intensity will just now pick up.
Excited to get this one restarted for stage 3. Washington still the man on point for the first time tonight. Alan Elwood going to get the restart on the front row. Let's see what he's got here. It's going to be a battle of the Chevy versus the Ford. Farnyar's back there heating up his tires right next to Richard Regan. Regan having a really solid night so far in the Neonism Ford. Here we go. Folks, get ready. Like seeing this roof pace car on the track. But it really looks best when it peels off. Washington in control. I expect his restart to be much like the last few. He's going to hold him up here, hold him up, hold him up, hold him up, and on the hammer he goes. Boy, that was a nice one. And Elwood not used to starting up there. He's a little slow on the restart. Farnier is going to power down on the bottom. Take that second spot away already. And now Elwood already having to try and hang on for Richard Regan. Regan down to the inside. Throws Elwood up to the top side of the track just behind him.
Oh, they're 3 wide.
Oh, we got a caution flag.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was Jesse Abram. As Jesse Abram with trouble getting his car started, he sins by himself. Let's try and pick this up on the replay, but you know what? I think maybe there had been a little bit of contact with Gerald Campbell, and there was. Campbell's car still trying to get heated tires.
Man, are we able to get an onboard with 17 of Judd Danielson?
Yeah, poor Danielson, who's already had his share of trouble this evening, gonna really, really avoid a close one here. Oh, and boy, Stephen Llewellyn will go on board here. Stephen Llewellyn almost took him out. Well, let's look at Judd Danielson here.
Turn 1 here. There'll be an accident right there. We're going to go low. Oh, wait, he's going low. Wow. Evasive action.
Watching from Llewellyn's camera here. And you're going to see him make that evasive line. They did make contact there. Llewellyn going to pick up a little bit of damage because of that. And it looks like the car's needing a little bit of repair. The only ones coming out pit row. Everybody else deciding to stay out. Just got that stage going. Not enough time to get the playing field here too spread out. So everybody's still on a pretty even strategy here with only 5 laps completed since we went from that last green flag. It's going to be Washington and Farnyars will start on the front row, just like Bogey and Bacall. They're just back there on the front row, and boy, nobody's going to get that reference. I was trying to think of another great tandem, and nothing came to mind.
You said they had like 2 sets left?
That's right. That's right. I'm looking at 2 sets for everybody. Most everybody. I mean, some of your, for the leaders anyway, the top 10 particularly, all on right now 3 sets of tires, 2 sets left in their bank.
Yeah, it's a little early. I expect if they can get a little bit of a green flag run, maybe they can play some strategy. if you're having a hard time getting towards the front, you're going to have to try to play some strategy at one point or another. But here's the kicker. I prefer to have this race go green to the end. That way, when we do have pit stops, you can either pit early and gain a tire advantage or try to get some track position, because when you pit early, the longer they stay out, the more time you gain.
Okay. Let me tell you this. If we get restarted and it stays green, we're definitely going to get a pit stop, because we're going to get restarted here with, 56 laps to go? Again, that fuel run about 45 to 50 laps. I just don't think anybody could be able to make it that far if we stay green. So the pit stops could be the great equalizer here tonight if we get that green flag run.
Yeah, that's a very true statement right there. And we've seen drivers go over 30 laps, so we're going to see at least, should we stay green, at least one more pit stop to get to the end of this thing. All right, David Washington, hopefully he can time this restart again like he has the last 2 times.
Boy, he's been awful good with the restarts tonight, and he's been awful good, period. Washington is a big player in this race tonight, and you know what? Maybe looking to notch out another win here in the AdPro 360 Cup Series.
You know, in these restarts, I can't stress enough that they are such a big part in NASCAR racing. If you can just time it just right, man, you got that clean air, and it just gives you such an advantage. I was driving the NIS race at Michigan a week ago, and I was playing mind games on the restart as race leader, which won me the race. So the restarts are a key factor when it comes to, staying in the lead, staying with track position.
Well, Washington's only win this season came at Richmond all the way back in April. Yes, April. Time to get back to doing some winning. Put another winning trophy in the case, if you will. Everybody behind him heating up their tires, getting ready to go here in the Paradigm 200 at Kentucky Speedway. We thank you for joining us here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Folks, if you're watching YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Help us out. We'd love to keep you in touch with GSRC. Hit that little red button and you'll do exactly that. All of our races scheduled there. Great information to be found about us and the details of all these events. But here we go. Washington, Farnyards. Where have you heard that before? Elwood Regan just behind him. Justin Bolton. Eric Stanford. Your top 6. Here we go. Here comes the roof pace car out of turn 4. It turns left. David Washington sets the field. And there he goes. Washington back to the throttle, back across the line, leading this race. Farnyards still trying to clear Alan Elwood. Elwood's got the position down on the bottom. Farnyards starting to pull away just a little bit. He's not clear. Elwood going to hang on, going through the turn.
Oh, man, Elwood, I thought he washed up the hill just a little bit. Maybe a little slight contact with the 88, but cannot keep the position, or cannot go for the position.
Cautions out again. Josh Bonwell on the backstretch has trouble. Look to be by himself. I think he gets in trouble coming off the exit of the turn, slaps the wall. You're going to see this here. Watch the 56. He is going to get loose in the center of the turn, and then that car doesn't stop. It runs up. It tank slapper there, and a hard nose into the inside retaining wall. And I'm afraid that could be an early night for him. That's going to be tough damage to recover from.
Oh, man. I'm
Ken Richardson here.
Ooh. Man, as soon as he hit that wall, that car just took off to the inside.
Yeah, it really did. He lost. He was a passenger at that point. He obviously lost all control of it. Now, Here we go. Everybody has found the pace car on track. What are we going to do here? Not quite even 10 laps. Really, I don't even think you've gotten those tires angry yet. I say look for the leaders to stay out.
Yes, sir. We're staying out.
Yeah, I think that's the smart play right there. Like I said, I just don't think you've put a whole lot on those tires yet. You're still not in a window that I'd be comfortable with for trying to make it to the end. Chris Scala in, Robert McFarland, Gerald Campbell in.
Yeah, and that's by design too. If the front runners will stay out, expect some drivers that have some sort of damage or just want to get 4 fresh tires and pack that thing full of fuel. Try to make something happen. Usually, if the front runners stay out, you'll see the back guys come in.
Campbell, Scala looking just maybe take a little bit of fuel there. I still don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to be awful close. In fact, might be real close now.
Well,
Tanner, Josh Bonwell, his mom is watching. She's checking in. And worried for Josh. Just want to remind her this is the virtual world. Josh's going to be just fine. He did hit it hard, and unfortunately, I think that's done. He's done for the night.
Yeah, right now his car is literally looking like an SK modified, and he has brought it to the garage, so he is done with this race. But as far as field strategy for other drivers, and now you got to count caution laps too, so it's going to be about, when they come to lap 80 right here, there'll be 52 laps to go. I think all drivers definitely will have to make a pit stop, especially the ones that pitted. The caution laps, they do help. But I still say everybody needs to visit pit road at least one more time.
I think it's cool that Josh Bonwell's mom is watching this race.
That's great.
I'm gonna challenge her right now to invite all of her friends, all of her girlfriends over, maybe the book reading club. Sit around the big screen and watch the race on a Thursday night. It's all about getting those eyes on the league, and well, it's always great to have the moms on board too. Washington still is the leader in this race. He hasn't given up that lead since we got started. I'm beginning to worry for the rest of this field because no one's really challenged him to this point, Tanner.
No, nobody has challenged him to this point either, and we haven't really seen a lead change yet so far today, as not to my knowledge we haven't. But since we are in the final stage of the race, realistically, and it's racing to the end here, we might see a different leader before we see the checkered flag. So let's see what happens.
Well, they keep throwing out this laundry. We may not get that opportunity. Hit a little spot of cautions, breeding cautions. Maybe this restart will be proved to be different. Maybe somebody will get a chance to stretch the fuel. Maybe a Chris Scala or a Gerald Campbell. We'll certainly see. Hard to think, though, that we won't get another caution. It just seems like at least these last few races, you get within that last 15 to 10, things get a little crazy, even with the best of drivers on pack and or on track. And, something we never even brought up tonight, I know we talked about it a little bit in the pre-race. How about the strength of field, Tanner, tonight for this? As league races go, this is pretty impressive, a 29.72. Explain that for just a second.
The 29.72 you said for strength of field, that is the average running of iRating that these drivers have here tonight. Every driver is given an iRating by iRacing, and usually what iRating does is if you get into an official session, it pits you with drivers who are around your level, your iRating. So I think that's a really cool setup that iRacing has, and tonight that's a pretty good strength of field. 29, that's better than what I have on iRacing, so which means that these guys are better than me.
Yeah, well, listen, it's time to get back to racing and forget about the iRating because it is tonight all about what's going on here on track. And here we go. Get ready once again to restart this race. The pace car pulls off. Washington going to wait, and now he's gone. Washington back to the restart. Boy, that was a good one that time. Richard Regan back there lifting the wheels up on Alan Elwood's car.
Definitely is. He's trying to battle with Justin Bolton. Justin Bolton might get a nice run off of turn number 2. Oh, Farnyards is gone from my screen. Farnyards is completely gone.
He has dropped from mine as well. Bolton with a great restart, though, already has himself up to third. Got to be careful just behind him. Elwood, Regan going at it. I'm sorry, I was talking about the battle action between Dylan Jones. I got too far ahead of myself. Dylan Jones and Gary Sexton now trying to decide that battle there. Richard Regan down on the bottom.
Yeah, I had to fix my camera angles because I was wondering where Farnyards was. But yes, Richard Regan Jr. is on the bottom side of the racetrack trying to battle with Dylan Jones. Right now, since these drivers have been out there on them sets of tires for quite a while, despite the caution flags, I don't think the bottom line is going to work out too much longer because Regan is actually dropping like a pigeon the last couple laps, being under attack from drivers who are going around him on the outside row. He just lost it to Dylan Jones. Still trying to hang on in the top 5, though. But, man, Sexton getting a nice run. Just nowhere to go with it right now.
Well, cover your top 3 with a blanket. They seem to be the ones pulling away right now. Dylan Jones, though, picking things up here. Finding his way to the front at the right time of the night with 48 laps to go across the line.
I can confirm that Andrew Farnyards has lost connection to the race server. That's very unfortunate right there. But still, yeah. Oh, battle for the race lead. Here goes Elwood towards the inside on Washington. Thought about it, could not. Oh, he might make it stick, but here comes Bolton. Bolton up close to that back bumper of the 42. Top 3 drivers fighting for position.
Yes, they are. Elwood up there on the top side. Washington took it all the way down into the apron, trying to find those extra thousandths of a second.
Tell you what, Bolton got really tight off of turn 2, lost a lot of momentum doing it, and what a great run for Alan Elwood, but he got to the back bumper, just couldn't do anything with it, of Washington. Ooh, oh, into the wall. He did slap the wall just a little bit. Alan Elwood did in the 42.
That's all right. It's going to help a turn.
Yeah, it's going to help a turn, but the crazy thing is he didn't lose a lot of momentum from it.
Yeah, I think it was just a glancing blow there down the side. In fact, I'm not even seeing any scrapes on the side of the car, so it wasn't that hard. Still no word on what happened to Farnyards, but boy, it sure must be good to be the leader, but it won't be 3 in a row for Farnyards tonight. Could we see a first-time winner? Elwood certainly in the right position to do that. Justin Bolton back there in third, not racing for points, but certainly racing for this win. Could add his name to the winners this season here in the AdPro 360 Cup Series. Oh, and boy, a curious little breaking point there for Alan Elwood. Still gets him the momentum he needs. Bolton applying a lot of pressure here, though.
Oh, man, all 3 of these drivers. I mean, at least the 42 is putting pressure on the 98 of Washington, and you got Bolton pushing pressure on the 42 of Elwood. Top 3 drivers really fighting hard, playing defense and playing offense at the same time. But guess who's catching these top 3 drivers? Mr. Dylan Jones.
Yes, he is. All right, Elwood, the Elwood Design Chevrolet, trying to be overtaken here by Bolton. So far, he's going to hang on.
That bottom line is just not sticking for these drivers in the later part of the race. It was in the beginning part of the race, but now as the tires are starting to wear, you get into a run, the bottom line just doesn't seem like it's working anymore.
No, so not like it was. You're absolutely right about that.
Got to try to get a good run, try to get him around the outside, but you have to have enough strength in that run to really get him on that outside row, and then you got to try to compete with him on entrance of a corner. It's a very hard thing to do.
You know, and something I've noticed is, and our directors picked up as well, Elwood on occasion is having a little bit of a connection issue. That connection blinks out and comes back. Certainly something that Bolton having to deal with there that can be difficult for a driver when you're following someone and they disappear real quickly and then come back. You never really know where they're going to land back on track.
Elwood's been having a blinking problem since the drop of the green flag here tonight, but so far his connection has hung on, and he's remaining in the top 5. But there is some downside to another driver blinking. Sometimes netcode can really interfere and can cause a disaster on the racetrack, and also you can also lose connection just like that to the race server, as we did see with Andrew Farnyards. Farnyards looks like he's back into the server, has yet to enter the racetrack. Actually, he has entered the racetrack.
Yeah, Farnier is back under power now, but it looks like it's cost him about 8 laps, unfortunately, and I think that's going to be too big a hill to climb here for him. 4 laps to go in this race, and man, Bolton almost. I thought he was going to run him over. I really did. That was really, really good racecraft by Bolton to not do that.
Looking at that Busch Ford, man, just reminds me of Kevin Harvick coming at you at your rear mirror. But here comes Bolton now on the inside of Elwood. Going to try it again on that inside row. He's going to be able to try to make it stick down to turn number 1. We have seen Bolton try to really make it stick into the corner of the racetrack. Oh, not going to happen. Nope, cannot make that thing stick to compete with the 42 on the bottom.
You know the first NASCAR driver was to make the Busch paint scheme popular? That would have been the great Cale Yarborough way back in the day in the 70s. I only remember that paint job on his cars. And, well, didn't understand much about Busch as a child, but looking back, it was always one of my favorite paint schemes.
Oh, the old golden days.
Elwood's still hanging on here. Maybe Bolton's backed off a bit. Maybe not. Here he comes. As sure as I say that, he needs to get busy because Dylan Jones is now in the mirror. Jones completing this climb 14 spots, and they're side by side in front of him. Elwood, Bolton.
The driver that likes this battling is the race leader, David Washington. But you got Dylan Jones now, who has caught Bolton. Let's see what I'm curious to see what Jones is going to do. I have seen him once already here tonight, make it a 3-wide scenario to really break up 2 cars battling. But so far, Bolton gets a nice run off of turn number 2, sticking it really well to the bottom on entrance right now, and he makes it stick. Elwood could not keep it unless he decided just to give it to him. No, he's going to go for a crossover move. I don't know if this is going to work, though, because we have seen Bolton struggle. He's there. It's just a matter, is it going to stick down turn 1 and 2? Is it going to stick on the exit of turn 2?
Watch out, Dylan. Here comes Dylan Jones. He almost got it to Bolton.
Man, he gave him a Talladega Daytona bump draft right there.
Looked like Jones was sliding into the turn, but Bolton now able to get away. Now it's Jones coming up on the outside here, Alan Elwood.
And look what Jones is doing, though.
Oh, Alan Elwood is in. Elwood is in.
I think he sped down pit road.
Oh boy, I hope not.
I really do.
Stop. We'll watch his. We'll keep an eye on his pit stop here.
Now, iRacing.
Hopefully, he doesn't get held here.
Yeah, iRacing. They don't allow a 5-mile and over, do they? Like they do in real life.
All right. Well, Washington still clearly in the lead. Josh Bolton up to second. Dylan Jones. Oh, trouble. Oh, no, we got more cars coming in. Richard Regan, Gary Sexton, Ryan Hill, Ethan Moore.
No penalty for Elwood.
Elwood's down and away.
Wow, that was a close call.
Close call, or he had it exactly planned that way. Here we go. Battle for third. Jones is there. Ooh, and Jones takes a different line to the turn, and Bolton able to keep it down there at the bottom and keep that position. It's not even close for fourth place. Camera back quite a bit there. Does Washington think about coming in here? Don't want to start losing time to fresh tires. Now we're going to find out soon if that was a genius move.
Almost seen a collision between Richard Regan and Ryan Hill coming out of the pits trying to get single file because it's very narrow down there.
Washington's off. Washington's off, and he is at speed at the line. Think he's going to be good. Justin Bolton going to go to the lead of this race for the first time tonight. Dylan Jones is second just behind him. Washington making his way all the way down to that number 1 pit box. Watching Bolton here, trying to decide what he's going to do. He's going to leave it out on track. So is Dylan Jones. Jones going to stay with him. And I don't think it benefits Jones to go in ahead. I think he needs a partner right now, and that's going to be the best one he can get right in front of a Bolton.
Elwood really got Washington easily. That's just because he pitted 3 laps earlier than Washington did and gave up a lot of time.
Yeah, and Elwood cruising by the rest of the field now. All of them on 30-plus lap old tires. More pit stops coming in behind him. But again, Elwood's going to move up through the field here with everybody, or guys still in the pits. Elwood all the way back into 11th now.
Great thing for Elwood right here is that he was pretty close with the race leaders. And Bolton and Jones, they've stayed out while Elwood pitted. And now they're in. A lot of time given up, though.
They're in. Let's follow the progress then of Alan Elwood as he goes across the stripe. His object, get around this track quick enough that he can get ahead of them when they're making their exit on the pits. Kyle Cameron just in front of Elwood here. Oh. He's going to pass him clean. Cameron really, really close up by the wall there.
Jones undershot his pit box.
Oh, no.
Just a little bit.
All right, well, here comes Elwood out of 4. He's going to pass Dylan Jones in the pits, and Elwood going to move up to 7th right now.
All right, and the number 7 of Bolton is just now passing the blue cone to where he could merge onto the racetrack now. And Elwood's already coming off turn 4. I talked about it before we had these green flag pit stops, Sean, is that if you can pit earlier just a little bit, if you time it just right, you can gain an advantage on the leaders.
Well, on the lead lap now, remember we had those early takers for pit stops after that last caution. They topped off. That would have been Chris Scala and Gerald Campbell. And those two trying to run out the string here.
Wow, this is the longest.
Over to Hornets nest right here. Gary Sexton trying to get through here clean. They've got, behind this pack, you've got Justin Bolton right back there trying to be careful. Sexton with Richard Regan draped all over his bumper right now, though.
These cats back here were Sexton, Regan Jr., they're all over each other.
You'd think with the fresher tires that Bolton would be just screaming right through these guys. Really, the difference, only a couple of laps, about 5 laps maybe, and Bolton right now just having to sit back there and watch because this group very, very competitive right now on track. Of course, he could be conserving those tires just a bit, leaving himself for that late charge like we saw in the Challenger Series last night.
Cameron pushing up, but he's trying to hit the pits. And I tell you what, man, almost a collision between the number 7 of Bolton and Ethan Moore off of turn 4.
William Lockley are going to pull off and go into Chris Scala has himself up to a podium spot right now. Slow going though, 28 laps on his tires. 23 laps to go when we hit the line. I think the track's too short, the fall off on the tires too great to make that strategy work. But hey, listen, it's worth trying to swing for the fences. You never know how things will work out. Gerald Campbell is now the leader of the race.
Longest I've seen. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Campbell, the other driver who had gotten that stop to top off just before we got restarted after the yellow.
Yeah, so he's got a little extra fuel in him, and actually he's got a pretty good amount. He can stay out for a while if he really wants to, because Judd Danielson has been out there for 41 laps, including the caution laps that we did have, and he's still extending that, so I do believe Campbell can stay out for a while. Now, here's the kicker of this. If the caution comes out, that's track position.
Yep. You said it. Indeed. You know who we haven't even talked about for who's in second right now? He's going to have to pit, but it's Judd Danielson. Tell you what, Danielson had that trouble very early on in this race, and well, right now he's sitting in second. Yeah, he's going to have to take a pit stop, and yeah, everybody's going to probably a lot of drivers are going to pass him, but again, if we had a caution right now, you never know. Danielson, though, doing a really, really good job of fighting back.
I do believe the main race leaders have one more set of tires.
All right, Elwood back up to fifth here. The climb is slow.
Yeah, but he's got Washington in his rearview mirror because Washington has caught Elwood. Difference of tires, 3 laps, folks. There's the difference.
Yes, it is. I think it's all going to be in the past. Is Washington going to be able to get up alongside him? But as we've seen, these side-by-side passes have not come easy tonight. They've generally spread themselves out over about 3 or 4 laps, and the better guy usually is victorious. So about the time to find out who's the better guy right here. Washington going to get it in there first. And so much for that. Elwood lets me down and lets him just take it.
Kind of have to,
yeah.
I mean,
well, here he goes, trying to cross him over, though, Tanner.
Trying to, but I don't think it's going to make it stick. The tire ratio, the difference between tires is just too great. The way the tire fall off is 3 laps doesn't sound much, but we did see Washington gun down Elwood by about 2.5 seconds. So it's 3 laps means a lot.
Oh, Bolton's still coming through. Boy, I'll tell you what, Elwood with a little bit of trouble back there. That car started to slide on him just a bit, and the 4, now that's not for position, but William Locklear are going to get by him.
It certainly did not help Elwood, especially with the lap car racing you around you. And now this is going to allow Justin Bolton to catch really Elwood. Elwood, like I said, as now, according to Elwood and Bolton, that's about a 4 to 5 lap tire difference between the 2 drivers. Bolton, I'm sure, will get Elwood for position. So this pitting a little early for Elwood is not working in his favor.
Chalk it up to great pit stops and a little bit of traffic, I think. But you know what? Elwood took a swing at it. Might have been a little bit of a miss, but we still have 16 laps to go at the line. This race here at Kentucky Speedway, the Paradigm 200, coming to a close. Coming to a close quickly. But your leader, still Gerald Campbell. We haven't focused on that because we do believe he's going to need another stop. But I don't know, man. It's going to be awful close. Judd Danielson, another driver that is approaching his pit window. Danielson right now out for 48-plus laps. I got to imagine his pit window is wide open. He's going to have to probably get that car in.
Oh, he just disappeared big time.
Wow. Talk about, well, check that one off, folks. The commentator's curse has hit.
That moves
Chris. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it definitely has plagued Daniels, but Scala is now up to second place now because Daniels disappeared. Have to keep an eye on that, but man, what a way for Scala. If he can capture a caution flag or if he's got enough fuel to make it to the end, what a comeback.
That's the thing. There may be enough fuel to the end, but listen, Washington is only 7 seconds back in closing. Bolton is only 7 seconds back in closing, so I don't know, man. 13, 14 laps, tough to hold on for that long. I think the gaps are just too wide right now.
It is, but it could possibly get you a top 5 finish, though, because McFarland is on the same strategy as Scala. Washington and Bolton have the freshest tires. McFarland is not really catching Scala according to time and scoring from what I'm seeing here. So if Bolton and Washington do catch Scala, that's only 2 spots you lost. And if the race is over, you're finished in the top 5.
Well, Scala and that Fred J. Moyer insurance machine, the Chevrolet, really giving everything at it tonight. That poor car is in the Skull Bandit, sponsored by Fred J. Moyer on the hood of the car there. But I got to be honest with you, it's been a tough climb. What was it, lap 2? I think it was. He had his race, what looked like ended, and he has battled back with a little bit of strategy here. And so is Gerald Campbell, for that matter. He's on the exact same strategy. Let's see if these two can hang on. They'll come to the stripe with 11 laps to go.
Tell you what, Campbell, Scott, and McFarland got to make it 10 more laps. And I tell you what, Judd Danielson, he has lost connection to the race server. Unfortunately, his fuel strategy will not work out. But I tell you what, it just goes to show that you can run that distance depending on how much fuel you have saved. And I think McFarland's in.
Bolton making a run on Washington here to the inside. They had just cleared the lap car, and Bolton shot down at the bottom of the track. Stephen Llewellyn is who they got by. Bolton still holding it down there. Washington on his outside. Now Washington losing that momentum. Bolton clears him. Bolton up to 4th.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen Washington being passed all night long. Bolton now passes Washington. Now he's going to hunt down McFarland, Scala, and Campbell. And I do apologize. I thought McFarland was coming. He was just slow just a little bit.
10 laps to go.
It's going to be tight.
All right, so Bolton is 12 seconds back. He's about 9/10 faster. I think the math is not working here. It may run out for him. Scala, Campbell still holding on up front. Scala a full, what is that, almost 8.5. He is over 8.5 seconds behind Campbell. Certainly not gaining on him. But he is Campbell's in the best position. Man, I'll tell you what, Campbell, boy, they're going to fool us all. I mean, they're really, really going to work that 45 to 50 lap fuel window that we talked about at the beginning of the race. If Campbell does this, he will do it with 51 laps. The VFW Ford looking for victory tonight. Could Kentucky Speedway be his lucky charm?
I tell you what, now McFarland's being passed by Washington and Bolton. And now they got to hunt down Chris Scala. And that's Bolton's about a second and a half and gaining big time on Scala. Now, like I said, if Scala gets passed by Bolton and Washington, the best, and if he does make it to the end, he would finish 4th because McFarland has not been catching Scala at all. But I think Campbell is in a great position here. Got a good lead. Yeah, it's shrinking drastically. But hey, I mean, we're coming down to it. He's got to do everything he can to try to stay up front. You made your bed now.
I tell you what, I love it when a driver can outfox the fuel strategy, and we're about to see if that works here with just 6 precious laps to go. When Campbell hits the line, everybody's scrambling behind him.
Oh no!
He's got nothing to worry about but clean air in front of him, and oh no is right. Chris Scala side by side with Bolton. And it looks like Bolton's going to clear him. Scala going to keep digging, though. They tried to fight him.
No, I don't know if there's no point in fighting a guy with fresher tires. But Scala will lose the position to Washington.
He certainly does. But boy, has Bolton got enough to catch Gerald Campbell. 5.5 laps to go. What about a 7.5 second gap?
Just less. Yep, 7 seconds right now.
5 laps. There we go. Come on, Gerald. Hang on to it, buddy.
It's going to be tight here, folks. And I did say the intensity was going to pick up. Maybe not in a wrecking way, but I tell you what, the intensity of trying to make it to the end on fuel compared to other drivers who are on fresher tires and a full tank of fuel, just gunning you down. That is the intensity. And I bet there is butterflies and mirror driving for Campbell. Oh, no, he's got a pit. He cannot make it.
No fuel. Yep, he's in.
Oh, he spins it out, too. Almost spun it out. Caught it.
Oh, that's going to give the lead to Justin Bolton as he comes by. David Washington will move up to second. Washington about a little over a second behind. Dylan Jones in third now. Scala had to come in also. They did not make it on fuel.
McFarland has stayed out, though.
The long green flag run, McFarland with just a couple more laps to give. across the line. No, Justin Bolton will have 3 laps to go. Following William Locklear, who's down a lap right now. Boy, hats off to Campbell and Scala. They really tried to make it work, man. Tough break.
Very tough break, but now, I don't think there's a chance to catch Bolton right now. You're going to need a caution flag because we're going to be coming down to 2 laps to go when Bolton gets to the start-finish line here.
Could see us fight here between teammates, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The Chef Andy cars of Washington and Jones. This could be a fight for second here. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, what a whale of a run, man, for Justin Bolton. I mean, he was fast right out of the gates, just wasn't able to find the race lead. But now with these green flag pit stops, certainly mixed up the field, and he's going to come around to take the white flag in that number 7 Busch Ford.
Ran a smart race, just took care of the car. And now he's going to take care of taking the white flag. The white flag right behind the 4 there, William Locklear. I think that's where he's going to sit. Justin Bolton going to take us through 1 and 2 one last time here at Kentucky Speedway. The Paradigm 200 coming to a close down the backstretch. Bolton sending it down into turn 3. And he can take it easy from here. Just keep the car on track and keep the tires under you. He'll come out of 4, make his way down the front stretch and to the start-finish line. Justin Bolton going to win the Paradigm 200 at Kentucky Speedway. And it looks like Dylan Jones with trouble. Cars scrambling all over the place to avoid him.
Man, he cannot get front forward here. He's going to have to drive across our finish line backwards in 8th.
Look at all those spots he lost. Robert McFarland.
He got hit hard by Farnyards.
Well, McFarland picks up the final podium spot after that trouble for Jones. McFarland makes it on the fuel. It paid off for him. He had a couple more laps in the bag, and McFarland comes across with a great podium finish. That was exciting. There's the trip back across the line for Dylan Jones to finish in a tough break for him there at the end. You see him getting out of shape there, lost it on his own right next to his teammate, trying to make a run at him. Well, folks, that was a great race tonight. A little bit of strategy pays off for Robert McFarland, but we're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Step away for the Paradigm 200 tonight at Kentucky Speedway and the AdPro 360 Cup Series. We'll be right back. We didn't like taking a break too much, so we're back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. The Paradigm 200 in the books here at Kentucky Motor Speedway, the AdPro 360 Cup Series. Wow, what a race that saw Justin Bolton, his first trip around here with the Cup Series. He'll win tonight. Not running for those points, but he does take the win. David Washington with a great second place finish. Led a lot of this race, but unfortunately not the race, the lap that counted. Robert McFarland plays the long game on fuel, 52 laps. He's able to stretch it out and finish on the podium. Alan Elwood with a 4th place finish tonight. Ryan Hill in 5th. 6th going to go to Ethan Moore. Kyle Cameron 7th. Dylan Jones 8th. 9th to Gary Sexton, and 10th to Richard Regan.
Outside the top 10, finishing 11th tonight, Ken Richardson. 12th place, Jesse Abraham. 13th place, William Locklear, last driver on the lead lap. Stephen Llewellyn finishes 14th. Chris Scala finishes in 15th. Gerald Campbell's strategy did not pay off. He finishes in 16th. Andrew Farnyars had a connection failure. He finishes in 17th. Judd Danielson in 18th. Eric Stanford in 19th. Rounding out the top 20, Josh Bonwell finishing in blackjack position 21st. Mark Clewell, Brandon Stokes in 22nd. And 23rd, Jeff Martin.
All right, Tanner, and those are our results. I don't see any of our podium finishers, but I do see Alan Elwood, and let's talk to Alan real quick. Alan, I hope I didn't jinx you by picking you this evening, but I really, really thought you had your first win this season in the bag here tonight at Kentucky. Tell us what happened.
Well, I tried to roll the dice with the early pit stop on the green and hope that, you know, maybe along the way somehow a caution would come out, but just I don't know. I'm trying everything to try and get a win, and Justin comes in his first race, and it feels awful because, you know, we've been trying all season. He comes in here, he's 1 for 1. So I don't know if it was jinx or not, but I tried to roll the dice, do something different. It backfired. You know, we'll take our lumps and see what we got here in a couple weeks, I guess.
Well, you know, but it's a much better result than you got last week. You know, you had some tough luck last week, and you really rebounded tonight. Find yourself finishing 4th here. You're still going to pick up great points.
Yeah. I botched that restart last week, and I took it really, really hard. I thought about just quitting altogether, and Gary talked me into coming back and you know, sticking with it. And like you said, you know, we come back and try to do our best. We got a 4th, so you know, it's not all bad. A lot of people would be really happy with the 4th, so I should look at it that way.
All right, who'd you like to thank for a great race tonight?
Elwood Designs, Performance Powder Coating. You guys for always putting on an excellent broadcast, and Gary and the guys here at the league for putting on the race. It was a good race.
All right, Alan. Hey, great job this evening. We will see you next week, I believe it is. So get ready, and we'll see you then, bud.
All right, Sean.
All right, and that was Alan Elwood. Great finish for him this evening. Let's see, do we have anybody from the podium here? We don't. I'll tell you what, Tanner, I'm going to let you talk to Ryan Hill. Ryan with the top 5 finish tonight. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I've caught up with Ryan Hill, and Ryan, you were up and down the leaderboard, especially within the top 10 here tonight, and you come away with a solid top 5 finish. But I tell you what, the handling on that race car and the passing here, it was extremely difficult. Tell me about your night.
Yeah, you know, we started from the back just trying to keep a clean race car. Found out that 3 and 4, we could run the top and use that for the end of stage 1 and stage 2, that I could run the tops. And that's how I made most of my passes. But, you know, once you start getting up front, guys are going to start running side by side and just kind of know where you can go. So it's just kind of see who can hold out the tires longest.
Yeah, it certainly could. Now, you didn't really qualify very good here tonight. You qualified 19th, and you were fighting, like I said earlier, within the top 10. When it came down to them green flag pit stops, man, what was your strategy? Try to pit early, trying to gain that track position, or just trying to make sure you make it on fuel?
That's a good question. I mean, at first it started kind of like if I can gain a couple positions and see if I can gain up to the leaders. I didn't realize that them staying out 2 extra laps would actually help them in the end. I didn't really realize that would actually work. And then if I had about 5 or 6 more laps, actually probably 2 or 3, I probably could have caught Allen and passed him. But I was actually surprised how well that the tires actually went away compared to the guys that pitted 2 laps later.
Yeah, most definitely. It just seemed like the tires was the key here tonight towards the end of the race. But now we're done with Kentucky, and we're going to go to a whole different new racetrack than what Kentucky and Chicagoland were. Next week, we're going to New Hampshire, a flat racetrack. How do you feel about your chances on trying to maybe go for more than 5th? How about a victory in New Hampshire? What do you say?
Do we consider Pocono flat? Because I won Pocono. That was flat. I mean, New Hampshire's a flat racetrack. That's going to be just like this. Going to be hard to pass. It's probably going to be there's going to be very few cars that have very little damage left after New Hampshire.
Well, Ryan, it sounds like you just want to get through New Hampshire because there's other good opportunity racetracks for you to get a victory at. But heck, if you're good off of turn number 3 at Pocono, you should be good at the flat tracks for sure. But hey, I'd like to say congratulations for a solid top 5 finish here tonight. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and best of luck to you next week in New Hampshire.
All right, thank you. And if I can just go ahead and, me and Gary had a good race off pit road. That was a lot of fun. And big shout out to Robert McFarland, part-timer. He's a full-timer in the trucks and or Challenger series, and he come out with the big boys and finished 3rd. I mean, that's just 100% great A racing that we have here. And, I couldn't be more proud of him and everybody else that puts on this league.
All right, that's Ryan Hill there, folks, who finishes 5th here tonight. And Sean, who have you caught up with?
I want to talk to Gary Sexton real quick. Gary, I probably not the result you were looking for, but you still finished in the top 10. How difficult was it here tonight at Kentucky Speedway?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. Definitely, like you said, wasn't the run I was looking for. The green flag stops just didn't cycle the way I wanted to. I pushed a little too hard at the beginning. But, yeah, every run the car was different. Start the race, it was tight. The second run was real loose. The beginning of the 3rd stage was tight again. And then it was just like super tight, super loose off after the pit stops. I was just, like I said, I pushed a little too hard coming out of the pits. Me and Ryan kind of racing each other pretty hard. And I wanted to get as many spots as I could at the beginning of that run and then try to save the car. But I had just scorched my right front by then. And that was kind of it. It was a fun race, a lot of work. But, yeah, the 9th place finish, I think is where I finished. It's not what I was hoping for going into the off week.
Well, Gary, you know what? You can't win them all, but you'd like to win one before the regular season's off here as we head closer to the playoffs. What do you think?
Man, I'd like to. This league is tough. These guys up there in the top 5 through 10, top 10, anybody has a shot to win these deals. It's hard. I'd like to. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm practicing. Some good tracks for me coming up. There's some good ones in the playoffs too. So we'll look to just maintain what we're doing, keep finishing in the top 10, top 5, get a win if we can. But I'll have something for them come the playoffs.
Well, Gary, listen, the playoffs are approaching quick. Who'd you like to thank tonight?
Yeah, shout out to my team, CCR. Shout out to you guys. I'm going to give a little shout out to Robert McFarland playing that strategy. He was in our room tonight. We helped him out. Love to see Robert get good finishes, bring it home 3rd. Just a really, really awesome group of guys. Like I said last week, I want to thank everybody that comes out and races in this league. It's an honor to put this on for everybody, and hopefully the fans enjoy it. And thank you guys for, again, I'm sure the best broadcast around.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a blast to call these races, Gary. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, and that was Gary Sexton wrapping up with us here tonight. Tanner, a great race indeed. We do want to remind all of our viewers that this evening's broadcast was thanks to Paradigm Technology. They were the sponsor of this race tonight. They leverage creative and development talent throughout the country in order to achieve the greatest level of success for their clients, led by CEO and founder Donnie Hyatt, along with a team positioned under the globe in places like Florida, Georgia, New York, Washington, Louisiana, India, France, and more. Paradigm brings the most up-to-date and demanding access and attention to their clients' needs, allowing them to achieve the most innovative, up-to-date success with all their projects. Find out more about them at pdc.technology. Take it away, Tanner. Okay, that's all right. Thanks to our sponsor, AdPro 360, an advertising agency specializing in digital and social media marketing. For more information, go to adproresults.com. We also want to thank the Simulated Stock Car Association, to everyone here for organizing this AdPro 360 Cup Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. On screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. That iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production courtesy of Eric Gekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them, Tanner.
Yeah, the SSCA Cup Series returns in 2 weeks, June 28th for round 13 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like to know more about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSRC Channel and on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
All right, Tanner, and finally, on behalf of the crew, Tanner Sharp, our director Joe Peak, our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.